Ladies and gentlemen, Ron DeSantis is polling at 6%, 5 or 6% in New Hampshire. He barely got second. Nikki Haley got third. They're both essentially dropping out either after New Hampshire or after Nevada. But you look, DeSantis is done. He's in single digits in New Hampshire. This is an article in Politico today. He's abandoned the second primary. He's abandoned New Hampshire. So what does that tell you about his campaign? Furthermore, he's 30 to 40 points behind Trump, actually 50 points in some polls, in the GOP primary, as is Nikki Haley. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. They're done. They've essentially already dropped out. This is all theatrical performance. Hit subscribe to this channel. DeSantis and Nikki Haley only ran because they thought there was a possibility that the Republican Party would prevent Trump from being the nominee after he was convicted by Democratic prosecutors in Democratic-run cities. He'll likely be convicted in New York because it's Tammany Hall. But they would have done the same thing with DeSantis and Haley. They would have found some way to indict them somehow. You might say, well, Trump brings this upon himself. No, he doesn't. This is a new game plan, playbook, rubric by Democrats. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. Be here tonight for the live stream. We'll talk about this and a lot more. I'll have a live stream like I always do about 10:30, 11 p.m. Eastern. I will have, whether I do 2 live streams a day or 3 uploads, I will almost always have a live stream at around 10:30 p.m. Eastern time every single evening. To my new Patreons, thank you so very much. The Patreon link is below in the pinned comment. Super thanks is below as well. If this is the headline in Politico, and if you look, Trump is at 50%. I don't think Nikki Haley's at 34%. DeSantis, only 5%. Okay, this is an NBC article. Trump solidifies lead in New Hampshire. Haley in second, new poll shows. Okay, so only 5% of primary voters said they would vote for DeSantis. Only 5% said they would vote for Ron DeSantis. Now, if you have 5% of New Hampshire and you were a distant second in Iowa, and in Nevada and South Carolina and other places, Trump is even doing better. He has like a 50 to 60 point lead. You have no chance. And eventually, very soon, you're just going to either continue to waste money if you're Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. I mean, you're going to continue to waste money for no purpose. And the average person, the average Republican or conservative or independent voting for Trump is going to be even more annoyed at the Nikki Haley or DeSantis campaigns if they keep on going. So Trump has only gained momentum. Nikki Haley has completely lost any momentum going into New Hampshire with a 30-point loss to Trump. Trump broke a record in Iowa. No Republican in the history of politics, in the history of American politics or the GOP primary, has ever defeated their rivals in the manner Trump did. It was a record-breaking performance. What more do you want if you're Nikki Haley or DeSantis? Then Nikki Haley has some traction in New Hampshire, but if you lose by 30 points again to Trump, or even 20 points, 50 to 34, I don't understand the Nikki Haley voter. What do you think's going to happen? You're going to vote for Nikki Haley, and then suddenly Haley is the good Republican? There's no reason to vote for Haley. We already had record low poverty with Trump and record highs in household median income. And we had record low unemployment. This was all in 2019 before Democrats and media and bureaucrats and organizations from around the world said, oh, shut down your economies. And Democrats gleefully did so, and never Trump Republicans just went along like they usually do. We had a great economy with Trump. We had a great foreign policy. We didn't have these catastrophes. I mean, you look everywhere from Taiwan to the Middle East to Europe. It's a catastrophe in terms of foreign policy. An absolute catastrophe. They say, well, it's not Biden's fault that there was an invasion in Europe. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. There was zero emphasis on trying to stop that calamity, that catastrophe from taking place, that human rights atrocities from taking place. And you want a proxy conflict, we can go on forever. That's the playbook by never Trump Republicans and Democrats is the same. Go back to the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld years. Nobody wants this. I mean, what good does it do if you're the Lincoln Project or the never Trump Republicans or people who like Trump but they want Haley or DeSantis? What good does it do to understand that only Donald Trump can defeat Biden, or I think Hillary Clinton will eventually be opposite Trump, but they'll likely replace mashed potato brains, and you're not running against one Democrat. This is something that Nikki Haley and DeSantis voters don't get. You're not running against an actual Democrat. You're running against all of American media, all of Hollywood, social media algorithms, and an entire American political establishment. That's what you're running against. You think Biden is just, you think people are so enamored with him on the left or Democrats? You need some human being with a pumping heart and somewhat functioning brain, and that person gets the benefit of almost every single journalist in America fawning over the Democratic candidate. In this case, trying to prop up the Democratic president, and he still reached record low in terms of favorability numbers. Okay, people do not like the current president. Now you could say, well, they didn't like Trump. The animosity towards Trump was fabricated. Okay, the same liberals who despised Trump were the same people who watched The Apprentice for a decade. They were the same people who watched Trump in cameo appearances in Home Alone. I mean, they're the same people who, Trump was a brand name. They went to his casinos. They went to his hotels. They lived in his buildings in New York. Believe me, there's a whole bunch of very famous, wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrats who lived in Trump's buildings, had no problem at all. Suddenly, he took power from them, and that was the problem. So when Biden told Charlemagne the God, the radio host, you ain't who you are if you don't vote for me. Immediately, the Washington Post wrote articles. Immediately, it's okay. It's not as bad as Trump. Trump is worse. I mean, everything's graded on a curve with Democrats. Trump is always worse. So no matter what they do, which happens to be worse than anything Trump has ever said or done, it's always just Trump is always worse. And the same thing will happen with any other candidate not named Trump. I mean, I'm talking about from in 28 as well. There better be Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. Or hopefully he picks Kristi Noem, and she'd be an amazing vice president. And then she'd be number one. But Democrats have a game plan, a roadmap towards victory. They need every conceivable advantage. They need every conceivable advantage, and they have it. And anyone not named Trump isn't going to get close. So, yeah, they're dropping out very, very soon. There's only so much. I mean, who is the person giving money to these campaigns knowing very well that Trump is winning in record-breaking fashion? What kind of person just decides to lose money that way. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. Be here tonight for the live stream. Thank you.